All right, I will begin with a very enthusiastic, and certainly I do mean enthusiastic, warm traders welcome on what we know is Winners Wednesday. And I want to go the extra mile because I know YouTube is watching. All of you around the world that tuned in to this brief YouTube synopsis of how we do things here at XM on a day-to-day basis, let me just welcome you right in here to the XM family. And if you're looking to go that extra mile, that extra kilometer, I should say, I said mile because I'm in the United States. If you're looking to go that extra kilometer, you came to the right place. Every day that the market is open, all day long, we're doing these sessions live here in both beginner sessions where we cover things like basics and we talk about chart setups and how to manage your trades, how to do everything that you need to know to be a successful trader. And these advanced rooms where often we have multiple instructors here where we're doing debates, but the advanced rooms more focused on setups and getting trades and everything else like that. So let me welcome all of you guys. Hope you decide to stay with us here for after the first 15 minutes. Now, Danushka's with me. That's great. It's Winners Wednesday. We know what we do. We show up on Wednesday. We're here to win. So let's get started. We'll talk about some markets first. We'll do the top-down approach. If you have any questions, guys, as always, keep me company. I'm going to be here through the whole hour. So yeah, I gotta stay. So let's not be boring. Let's make some money. The question, hey, Babo, how do I deposit using FNB credit card? Well, I love questions, but that's a question I can't answer because I don't know the answer to that. All I do is teach how to trade. So get in touch with customer service. They'll help you. Or administration, they'll get all that stuff fixed because I don't know how to do it. I wish I could help you, but that's where I would guide you to get the best answer. Now, I'm going to start with this one, Danushka. Here's where I'm going to go. Here's where I'm going to go. I'm going US 100 right now. And here's the question I've got. You know how they have that song, Stop Playing Games with My Heart? You know that song, guys? You know what I'm talking about? Is it going to happen today, Danushka? Is it going to happen today? I mean, this thing is just brewing like a coffee pot that you set overnight that's a slow drip, just brewing for a breakout of this range. Nvidia's been getting picked back up again. A lot of nice charts across the board. I want to kind of focus on this because as we talk about in a lot of the other sessions when we have the basic rooms on how markets work, and I'll save everybody the whole long speech. But if you look at any chart, you'll notice that they come in waves. They spend an awful lot of time just kind of visiting areas, testing areas, trading up here, trading down here, trading there, trading back here, and then all of a sudden you get this wicked breakout or wicked breakdown. This is really setting up for what we saw in gold. I'll show you what gold looked like long before it broke out. So you guys can see what may happen here. I mean, I believe it's going to happen, but you just don't know what day that's going to take place. Let's get to the gold. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I want to focus on this setup right here with gold. Let me, my apologies, I don't have my my pen tool, my trusty pen tool. Let me just get a second to open it up here. And anyway, just take a look at this spot right here. You'll see it spends quite a bit of time just, we do the box theory, right, Danushka? Just kind of testing the top of that, coming back in there, testing, coming back in there. It goes on for about 2 weeks and then you unleash a rally. This is something for anyone listening. You never come back to one of these sessions. This is how things typically work. You will get a move, a long period or a shorter period of testing a level, a consolidation we call, and then there'll be another impulsive move either out of that or down. They kind of move back and forth between boxes, and you'll see that. Got that here on the Nasdaq for the last few days. Let's get back to that chart so I don't get lost. But why would I say it's typically going to go higher? You've been down to the base here. Um, this was a news generated event. And the next day, you tested that level for about 3 days, right? This 19,776. And every time it fought it off. You had the old failed breakdown here, the failed power of tower or the failed engulfing candle. Market got picked back up. Yesterday, got right back down in there. That's 4 times, man. Come on, 4 times you've been in that level. Every single time. This is what we keep talking about. Looking at these charts, you're going to hear fancy words across the board, guys. Hey, Mega, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to hear fancy words, big old words in trading. Liquidity, right? Fair value gaps. You don't need that. I mean, you do need that, but you don't need to waste your time trying to overcomplicate a very simple process. Support, support. Every time that gets down in there, something shows up. And that something is a lot bigger than you and I. That's all you need to know. You're not going to go under that. And the more times you test the level, same way to the upside, the more times you test and you can't go through, less likely it's going to happen, right? Whoever that is up there is keeping it down. Whoever's down there is holding it up. So you've seen that. So here's how it is, just simple. We know the whole thing. Bulls versus Bears, right? Bears had control every time here. You had the control. Yeah, being fair value gap. You had the control. Bears had like the foot right there on the throat, right? Yeah, gave it up. Bulls in control here. So this is what the reason I want to bring that up. It's just like this back here. It's just like this back here. One of the things that I will teach a lot in my sessions, I want to get everybody in long before everyone else thought it was a good idea. One of the things I made a mistake as a rook is I was like, oh, that's a long right there. You know, yeah, of course, yes, of course, there we see that. But by that time, you've messed the trade up. These are little tails here just showing you like somebody's in here accumulating this every time it drops. Like there's like it's probably an algo buy program that's just laying there. So let's say like you had this hedge fund, got hundreds of millions of dollars in it. You're like, I'm just buying the market. And you just turn it on right there in the 19.7s, go about your business. Every time the price dips in there, you just absorb all the shares. How do we know that? We know that from the wick. The candlestick wick is what gives it away, these hammers, right? And these inverted hammers are probably the best signs. Like right here it is. Look, you come this is even after a massive, like I wouldn't say massive, but a very big correction, right? Big correction. Like take a look. There's a little bit of wickage right here. They're trying. You can't hold that wick. You can't hold that wick. Down it goes. Now you come over here, um, and then you pull in, right? Another one pulls in. So at one time that looked red. That was a big old red candle. Looked like it was going to do the old breakdown, maybe the head and shoulders breakdown, but nope, turns around, fires it off. You're going to get the same thing. Just a matter of time before this thing uncorks. And we've seen the S&P up there. Let's go. Yeah, I think you're going to make it all the way back up here. But will today be the day because we've had a couple of this is technical analysis too, guys. You got to prepare false signals. You never know when that day's coming. You'll see like right there, should have popped right there. Nah, come up here. Nah, there, that looked good. Nah, right. So they're kind of like, kind of playing games with our heart, Danushki. Yes, I can look at Adobe. Quit playing games with my heart. I'm going to sing that song all day. Sorry, my voice is very raspy. I just got done with a RSV virus that my son gave me for like the fifth time. And it's very early in the morning. You'll see my clock is at 5. So, guys, if you have any questions, bring them up here. Keep me company. Let me know what you got going on. So, yeah, we'll look at that. Let me give you one more here, and then we'll go to that Adobe. You'll see that here too, like US 500. Your all-time high right here, right? Your all-time high. You're not selling. You're not selling. I mean, there is no sellers, tight as can be. US 30, tight as can be. Here it is. There's US 30. Look at this. Same thing. I mean, you've made some massive, massive moves. And now NVIDIA and technology. I said this about a week ago. You had You have the S&P 500. You got the big three: US 500, US 30, US 100. You had the US 100 that led the rally from the start of the year all the way up to July. And the Dow was down in the hole. Dow catches up. We got the Dow caught up. Got the S&P 500 at all-time highs. Dow at all-time highs. Guess who's not at all-time highs now? NASDAQ after the pullback. NASDAQ will be at all-time highs most likely. No guarantees in the market, but that's kind of the play I'm looking at. And um, tech names are in play right now. So Mega, so how do you deal with psychology when false signals happen? Well, you just have to understand that X amount of trades are not going to work, right? The way I do it is I used to take it personally, like, oh, I'm stupid. Oh, I must have read this wrong, right? We say that, right? I must have did a bad job. That was a bad. That's why I say idea execution and management. If I have a good idea and I execute the idea, like if let's say I buy this market, right? Let's say I buy this market and like right here, I think that's a good trade. Next day I get stopped out. Honestly, that's just there's pieces of randomness in the market. And if you're going to be a trader, I guess my answer would be this. You have to learn to deal with that. That comes with the territory, right? So we talk about a lot of things like if you have a job and you have to drive to that job. So a downfall would be traffic. You know what I'm saying, Mega? You got to deal with the downside. In order to get the glory, you must accept the risk, right? So you have to be in the trade. And when we say we're 65, 75% accurate, sometimes 80% accurate, that means, 30% of the stuff that we come up with. The same setup, the same signal, the same trade, 30% of that, no matter what we do, is going to be wrong, right? It's just going to be wrong. And the reason is because we talk about timing. Your idea, like when you have an idea to do something, the rest of the planet has to be on the same page with that idea, right? So, like that breakout right here, this little pop, why didn't it go? Well, you could beat yourself crazy, like, well, that's the way it goes, like this. Yeah, you were already broken out and you sold off. That just comes with the territory. So you have to look at it and just psychologically, that's the stresses of trading. You have to say, I got to deal with that if I want to make money, because I know what you're talking about. You got a really beautiful setup, you take it, you get stopped out. You might have to go right back in the next day. Like try it again and try it again. That's why we always want to keep the losses small and try not to be stubborn. Because then that'll create other psychological problems, right? Where you'll be like, oh, I'm not giving up on this one. I'm getting tired of this market, right? And then you start doing other silly things, right? Yeah. So Adobe, and then we'll take a look at the coin. Adobe. I haven't looked at this one. I thought it was going to break. Um, yeah. So I'd be a little bit concerned about this Adobe, Danushka. Um, she's being left behind. So if we take a look at it, for everyone listening, super easy, barely an inconvenience, top-down approach. All right, Adobe's going down, been going down for quite some time. I even got a lower high up here and then all the way down in here. Now, the attraction for this is uh, you're into the gap here where there is a potential reversal. So like you get into this area right here, there was a very nice reversal. So you probably are going to get one in this spot, either where you're sitting now or back into this gap. I would say there's an extreme chance you get a big time reversal there. So I'm on that side with you there, Danushka. Um, Certainly has my interest after a sell up, like Microsoft, right? We talked about Microsoft, big bounce yesterday. So because it's down so much and it's so aggressive that well, that's one of the reasons why you don't have pre-market data and open 5-minute data on there. So it looks like there's gaps, but there's not really gaps. So like the pre-market would look like this and connect. So there's a good meet. It's not like an index where you have 24 hours of data constantly collecting. You're actually missing it because these MT5 charts are delayed, not delayed, but you don't start getting a candle until the first 5 minutes, if that makes sense. So it's not really gapping like that, like it looks like. This is earnings right here, but this doesn't really. It's much different if you have a pre-market chart. I would like to see a little washout here somewhere, just some kind of base or something to work with before getting involved in this one. I do like the idea, and I think if the market starts, for any of those listening, This is a kind of a chart. What would somebody want to look for this? Why would you want to be a part of this? Well, one of the tricks is that as the markets approach all-time highs, nobody wants to own just the market, and there's going to be a handful of stocks that are responsible for that, right?